Hello, good morning, and welcome to Lone Orange Live. Have you ever thought about joining Toastmasters? Have you ever heard of Toastmasters? I want to talk a little bit about how Toastmasters really has helped me in my business today, and hopefully, it'll help you decide if it's the right thing for you. My name is Tiffany Huckelman, and I am the founder of Lone Orange and the host of Lone Orange Live. So I'm excited for you to be here today. Let's get started. So Toastmasters, I resisted joining Toastmasters for I'd say about 2 years. The thought had been in the back of my head, oh, I heard about this thing called Toastmasters. I've heard people talk about it. Maybe it's something I should join so I can get more comfortable in speaking and communicating. But I really resisted it because it sounded like a lot of work. I didn't know what to expect. I thought, I didn't want to be embarrassed. I thought, oh, that sounds terrifying to have to get up in front of people every week and have to speak impromptu or have to give all these speeches. And I just thought it sounded terrible. But I knew that I could really use some help in the whole area of public speaking. Now, I had done public speaking. I had, given workshops and I had spoken at different events. And I think I did fine, but I knew that there was a lot of room for improvement. So finally, about 3 years ago, I finally decided to join. And just a little bit kind of my journey for this. So I went to the Toastmasters International website, and I can put that link in the bottom in the description below when the broadcast is over. But I went to the Toastmasters International website and there's a little button that says Find a Club, and I searched for clubs. I knew that I wanted to meet during the day, and because then it would be during my work time and not my family time. I knew that I would needed it in a certain radius. I live pretty far out of St. Louis, so that kind of limited. I didn't want to have to drive forever, so that kind of limited my range. So I knew a couple of things going into it, and so that's how the Toastmasters International Find a Club site allows you to give some criteria to figure out some of the things that you would want or not want in a club. So I found for me, because I'm a shopper, so I like to shop and make sure I'm getting the best deal and make sure that I'm looking at all the possibilities. I think I visited 6 different clubs. You don't have to do that. You can pick the club closest to you and go visit it, and that's perfect. But I visited 6 clubs because I wanted to see which one was going to fit me the best. And I found one. It was really fascinating to me how each of these clubs had a different kind of personality, different vibe. And they were all lovely. Every one of them was welcoming and encouraging. But there was one that I chose. And so I finally chose and decided to sign up. And I liked kind of what I saw. Visiting these clubs gave me a chance to see how meetings were run in different clubs. But there was always a general structure. And so I was kind of getting comfortable and familiar with that. And so I finally decided to jump in and join. I remember my very first speech that I did, I was shaking. It was terrifying. And it was simply talking about myself. They called it an icebreaker speech. And it was just talking. It was me introducing myself to the club. So it was very brief. It was all talking about me. But as I do, or as I used to, when I would get in front of audiences, I was shaking. I had my notes. I think I dropped my notes a couple of times, like all the classic things that you are fearful of. But what Toastmasters really did, so fast forward 3 years, and this is amid COVID. So we met in person for a long time, and then we had to go virtual. And now we're kind of going back to the hybrid. Some people are still meeting virtual. Some people are meeting in person. You can kind of pick and choose. And there are some clubs that are virtual only. But what it did for me is it gave me a level of confidence in speaking that I never had before, because it gave me an excuse to practice my public speaking skills. Some of the speeches that I gave were specific speeches that I would give in a business setting that were supportive of my business. Some of them weren't. Some of them were just kind of fun, something that a topic that I just wanted to talk on. But the act of actively practicing getting up and giving different types of speeches and getting up in front of people and then getting immediate feedback on what I did really well and what I could improve in was invaluable. Like I say, I've spoken before. I'm not going to say I speak all the time, but let's say maybe about one a month prior to this, maybe a little bit less. So I wasn't an inexperienced speaker, but being able to practice much more frequently, and then being able to evaluate and give feedback to other people and see what they were doing well and seeing what I can learn from them, those two things coupled together gave me so much valuable insight into how I could become a better speaker. And that was huge. The one of the things that they do is called table topics, and it's giving an impromptu speech for 1 to 2 minutes. That has been invaluable too, because I was always the type of person who had to think a lot about what I wanted to talk about. And so, but when you're in a networking situation, for instance, you can't do that. So, being able to practice coming up with on the spot, interesting something to say on a topic that you haven't really been prepared for. Some of them are funny, some of them are serious, some of them are would never come up in real conversation, some of them would, but getting used to practicing that made me so much more comfortable. Shoot, it makes me more comfortable in talking to you today on these lives. I can come on here and talk without a ton of preparation so that I can come and talk and share my ideas with you. It I would also think so. A couple of other things happened that were kind of unexpected. So, one, I got to have mentors so I actually met with people to teach me and guide me and answer questions and help me. That was very valuable because they gave me very specific ideas on how I could improve, and they encouraged me. And something happened earlier this year. The Toastmasters International runs a speech contest, and it starts at the club level and kind of you work your way up to the international contest, which they just held recently. And I never, like, people, I heard them talk about, are you going to be in the contest, you're going to be in the contest, but I never had an inkling of that sounds like fun. I never thought that I would ever do that. However, this past year I ended up kind of on accident, perhaps. I was filling in for somebody else. I ended up going all the way to the district level. So that's 4 levels up. So club level, um, area level, division level, district level. I won second place at the district level contest. I can't begin to tell you what just that experience did for me. That experience, again, I never had any inclination of doing this, but it did 2 major things for me. Because it set me on this path of, oh, like, I'm competing. This isn't just me doing a speech to kind of check it off my list. I'm competing, and I wanted to do my best. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well put my best foot forward. So I studied. I watched videos. I looked at all of the past winners of the International Speech Contest from Toastmasters and all the second and third place winners and many other winners from different levels, and paid attention to what they were doing, what made them successful. I studied public speaking like I never had before, and I never would have had the motivation to do without this. And from that, I learned so much. I even hired a coach and past international speech contest winner to critique my speech because I thought, well, I may never do this again. And this could be the opportunity to get some really professional feedback. That was amazing. And it just gave me the confidence that if I can get to this level, I can be a good speaker. I can be a successful speaker. And for me, the whole reason why I got into Toastmasters was because I wanted to be a better communicator for my business. I wanted to be able to come online here like this and speak to you regularly, like I do now, every Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time on Lone Orange Live. I wanted to be able to speak it to groups. I wanted to be able to give workshops. I wanted to be able to speak in networking meetings comfortably. Like I knew that I needed that. And Toastmasters gave me the experience and the opportunity to do that. But then it also up leveled my confidence to know that I am a good speaker. I never thought about myself as a speaker before this. So I really want to encourage you, if you have ever thought about Toastmasters, joining Toastmasters, give it a shot. I will invite you to my Toastmasters groups to come visit. I'm actually in two right now. One is virtual only. It's an advanced club that is specifically for virtual speakers who are doing it for a business. But then the other one is a local to St. Louis, and we're currently on a hybrid format. So some people are meeting in person, some people are meeting virtually. I invite you to come join us. If you don't want to come join us virtually so you can see it. If you don't want to come do that, please feel free to check out Toastmasters International and find a group to go visit. Go check it out. I really encourage you to do that. If you've been thinking about Toastmasters and you've kind of been on the fence about doing it, here's your call to action. Here's your encouragement to go do it, because it will change your life, change your business, change your communication skills, change your leadership skills. If you I was just gonna think of something, say something else, and I forgot it already. But yeah, so absolutely go check out a Toastmasters meeting. All of them, most of them, some of them are closed groups, but on Toastmasters International, you'll see what are open groups, what are virtual only groups. If you really want to get better at virtual only, I can introduce you to a virtual only club that is open to new members. So definitely check it out. Go visit, even if you're not really sure that you want to join. Go visit, check it out. It is really such a valuable organization. So, all right, my friends, that's all I've got for you today. But I just really wanted to share the value that Toastmasters has offered to me. And I hope that you take advantage of that as well, because you never know what it can do for you and for your business. All right, friends, until next Thursday, have a stellar week. I'll see you then. Bye bye.